Let me see. Come on, get to it. Okay. Joseph. I just need a date, man. They got so many words in here. I don't. Wait a minute. Let me see. We assume for Egypt, Jacob's arrival with data for. Okay. Any which way it go. They come in around, again, we use the entrance date. That's what that's the date they're using. They're using the entrance date. You see, or when they come in. And so 1876. So it was a little bit before that. Okay, 1876. So it shouldn't, but it says that as Jacob comes into Egypt, the land of Ramesses is already there. You understand what I'm saying? That he's already there. That's untrue. It cannot be. It cannot be because, first and foremost, there is no Ramesses at that time. You see, you're talking about right here, when you're looking at the chronology from 3200 to 1300 BC, this is from Narmer the Seti, his father. You see what I'm saying? So at 1300 BC, he's not even on the throne yet. He's not, this is, and so his father was maybe, 20, if Seti is at 1300 BC, his father would have been more like, 1225, 1230, somewhere up in there BC. Okay. And so you don't get no Ramesses until after, after 1300 BC. So it's no way, even at 1200 BC, is no way for you to have no Ramesses at 1876. So they was lying so goddamn much. They put that one king, you know what I'm saying, in damn near the whole distance of 466 years, put him at the beginning and at the end. Wait a minute, not 460. I'm wrong about that. But they were in Egypt for over 400 years. So if they was in Egypt for over 400 years, yeah, that's another significant thing. So if they was in Egypt for 400 years, you talking about they came out around 200, 2000. Well, no, that would be subtraction. What I'm talking about. That's 6, that's 7, that's 4. That's 1. Okay. They would have came out around 1476 BC. Okay. They would have came out of there at 1400. They would have been exiting, you see, right around 1476 BC, because they were in slavery for over 400 years. You see what I'm saying? And so even at that point, if you cannot have no Ramesses at the beginning at 1876, because it says that they lived in the land of, right there, Genesis 47:11. Then Joseph settled his father and his brothers and gave them a possession in the land of Egypt, in the best of the land, in the land of Ramesses. And then come up here at Exodus 1:11. Therefore they set taskmasters over them to afflict them with heavy burdens. They built for Pharaoh store cities of Pithom and Ramesses. Okay, then y'all fucked up right there. You fucked up right there, because you said when y'all first came in, that city was already built. Okay, that city was already built, even though there was no Ramesses kings at that time. Y'all said that goddamn city was already built because they was not put into slavery until after Joseph. So it should not have been there already. So they fucking up. Once you know this shit, you can see that they fucking up. And then you talking about over 400 years from Joseph to the Exodus is 400 years. Matter of fact, a little more than that. I believe they was in Egypt about 420, 430 years. You see what I'm saying? So from the time of Joseph to the time of Moses, well, I'm gonna say the time of Moses leaving, because when the Exodus, Moses is 80 years old. Okay, nevertheless, nevertheless, that's still a long ass time. You see, so ain't no damn Ramesses at the beginning and at the end. That's bullshit. They kept using Ramesses until they didn't put themselves in a knot. They didn't tie themselves up into all kind of knots. So that's bullshit. That's devastating. That's devastating right there. Okay. Now let's go on down here to Shem. Now, when you look at Shem, just like I said, when you look at these individuals, I don't even really have to, this is Ebers. Okay. Now, this is the one that they say Hebrews come from. You see? And so when you come down here and understand, anybody that come from Eber is a Hebrew. Okay. Now, it's different with the Israelites, because the Israelites come, they come through Abraham. Okay, that's very significant. And from Abraham through Isaac and Jacob, that's very significant. But a Hebrew is one that comes from Eber. And so it come on down to Abraham's father, which is Terah, you see, and Abraham had other brothers. And so they also come from Eber. So Haran, who is the father of Lot, and we know Lot, these are also Hebrews. Okay, Moabites are Hebrew. And even, Abraham through his son Ishmael, those are Hebrews too, because they all can trace their lineage back to Eber. Okay, that's all you have to do. But the covenant wasn't made with Eber. The covenant was made with Abraham. You see, the covenant was made with Abraham, and his lineage went through Isaac, even though his firstborn was Ishmael. But because he had an African mother, they had to steal his birthright, because the birthright goes through the oldest son. And so Ishmael should have been, but that show you, again, we understand that this is mythology, but it show you that they stealing our fucking birthright. You see, Ishmael's mother was an African. We understand Abraham, which we're going to get into the Ham. We're going to get into the Ham, because that show you again that that's Egypt. That's Egypt. You got to understand that. That shows you the occult understanding that that's Egypt. Okay? And so let's keep moving. And so you see again, Abram, he was first Abram. Now the question I asked the Hebrews, I said, well, damn, when God makes the covenant with Abram, he changes his name from Abram to Abraham. I said, well, goddamn, why he didn't name him Abraham? You understand? If it was about the Semitics and it was about the Shemitic, why didn't God name him Abraham? That's very significant. He named him Abraham. And that's a very significant, a very important and significant question that need to be answered. And so you see right there, Abraham had 8 sons. Abraham being a Hebrew, his sons were Hebrews, but not Jews. Okay? All the descendants of Heber or Eber, an early ancestor of Abraham, are Hebrews. Okay? So the Ishmaelites are also, which, go through ancient Egypt, is also Hebrew, because they all go back to Eber or Heber. Okay? Now let's get on off into Ham. We've already destroyed this right here, but we see right there Nimrod, Chaldea. That's where Abraham come from, Chaldea. Okay, Nimrod, son of Ethiopia. And you see that he founded a Chaldea, Assyria, Babylon. See how they all nations? You go over here and you look at Shem's descendant, you don't know who the fuck. These are just individuals. These are not nations. Ain't none one of these nations you could call out and say this is a nation. Because goddamn it, the first time they get a nation is way down here under the Israelites. This is when they get a nation. Way down, all of these is just shepherds. You see? Shepherds. Okay, so let's move on. And so you see the great nations that come out of Ham. You got Pum, which is Libya, Cush, Ethiopia, Nimrod, Canaan, Havilah, which is also the son of Cush, which is mentioned in the Garden of Eden. People don't even know that the Philistine, okay, the Philistines with Goliath. You niggas rooted for David. You niggas rooted for David. You didn't root for goddamn Goliath. You rooted for David. And so you got down to the Philistine was the son of Egypt. You see Sheba, which has been misnomer Arabia. Okay, it was Sheba before it was. Then you got Sidon. You see, where they get, which is Canaan, where you get Zion. You see, and then you got the Jezebite, Jebus, okay, which is the city of Jerusalem. And so these cities were already named before the Israelites even came in. So you see the significance of, and it says right here, Genesis 10:6-20, the sons of Ham, Cush, Egypt, Punt, Canaan, and the sons of Cush, Seba or Saba. You see, Saba, that's where you get Sabbath. Saba, Havilah, dealing with the Garden of Eden, Sapta, Ramah, and Sabteka. The sons of Ramah, Sheba, and Dedan. Okay, both in the area of today what they call Arabia. Cush, father Nimrod, hear me out. He was the first on the earth to be a mighty man. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Therefore, it is said, like Nimrod, a mighty hunter before the Lord, the beginning of his kingdom was Babylon, Ur of Chaldea. Okay, Chaldea is Babylon. Erech, Akkad, Calneh, and in the land of Shinar. Okay, and so let's come down, showing you all these kingdoms. Okay, 1 Chronicle 1:8, the sons of Ham, Cush, Egypt, Punt, Canaan. Okay, we went over there in Genesis 10:20. These are the sons of Ham by their clans, their languages, their lands, and their nations, to show that they were a federation of African nations. Now, this is where you see where Egypt is referred to as the land of Ham. And we've already identified that Ham means black. Okay, Psalms 106:22, wondrous works in the land of Ham and awesome deeds by the Red Sea. So he's talking about the plagues of God on the Egyptians during the time of Moses in the Exodus. You got Psalms 105:23. Then Israel came to Egypt. Jacob sojourned in the land of Ham, in the land of black. Psalm 78:51. He struck down every firstborn in Egypt, the first fruits of their strength in the tents of Ham, in the tents of blackness. Okay, got to understand that. Okay, we done already went over this one. This is showing the genealogy of Ham. You seeing her, the Philistine. Now, even Caphtor, that's Crete in the Mediterranean. And they trying to say that Lud is the Etruscans. You see, so they had, and you see Sidon, the Hittites, which is Turkey, modern day Turkey today. You see nothing but Turks and, Russians and Slavics over there today. But, the documentation, and that's where the Trojans, when you talk about the Trojan War, because Memnon was the nephew of Priam, who was the king of Troy. Okay, and Memnon came up from Ethiopia and he fought with Achilles. You don't read about that. You don't read about that one. You don't read about that one. So that shows and proves that the Hittites, the Trojans, that area, and I told you about coaches, that whole area was populated by Ethiopian people. We're getting that work in today. Gonna get that work today. You see what I'm saying? So we see right down there at the bottom, you see Assyria, Nineveh, you see Akkad, you see Shinar, which is Sumer, you see Sheba, all of that. You see, that's African. Okay? And we already know, I didn't deal with this one. Dealing with Ham. Listen to what it said. This is coming out of this is another biblical encyclopedia. I'll get the publishing page for you as we go down. It says the name of Ham alone is known to have been given to a country. So there was no land of Shem. There was no land of Japheth. You see what I'm saying? And it says right there, identifying the Cham or Ham. You see what I'm saying? Of the biblical list of races, the Amu worshippers of Am. You see that Ham and you see Am. And so when Moses was talking to God, what did he say? His name was I am. And you got to understand that the I is interchangeable with the H. You see, the I is interchangeable. I've seen the documentation. I can't put it all in here. So when it said I am, you say, well, who shall I say sent me? I am, which is Ham, which is black. That's why when they say Elohim, and they spell it Elohim, understanding that they put the I in there to keep from saying Ham, keep from saying that Elohim is black. That's why they put the misdirection in there. That's why when they say, and it says, out of Egypt I have called my son. Where was Jesus born? Bethlehem, not him, Ham. He was born in the city of blackness. And see, and so he says, out of Egypt, it says, out of Egypt I have called my son. How the hell you gonna go into Egypt, the land of Ham, the land of black, and hide in the land of black unless you black? Come on, man, wake up out there. We dropping nothing but bombs on here today. Tell the Hebrew Israelites, bring their ass something. Got something for them. Okay? Got something for them. Let me come on down. Now, this is what do I need to get up out of this? Okay, the descendants of the original Ham, Psalms, we already, in these passages, Ham is used as another name for Egypt as representing Ham's principal descendants. His principal descendants were in Egypt. Okay, and so Ham is another name for Egypt. So when you hear, and so if it's another name for Egypt, Egypt itself means black. Cam, Cham, Kim, however you want to pronounce it. You can put whatever fucking vowel in there you want. It's really only the KM and the T. If they spell in Cam, even though I don't deal with, that's all. It's KMT. You could put the E. So it ain't no other way. You ain't supposed to put the vowels in it. That's against the rules of the so-called hieroglyphic system. So when because it's not supposed to be pronounced, they don't know the goddamn pronunciation. But even the so-called consonants are wrong. They cannot interpret the metal letter, and they cannot take alphabet from goddamn modern times and put it on the ancient and think they're gonna render or understand it. You got to go through the mystery system and be taught. God damn it, they can speak all that shit, and you can ask them, do you know how to build a pyramid? Well, no. Well, fuck it. You don't know how to read it then. Because the answer on how to build the pyramids and all the great temples is in the metal letter. And so if you reading all that shit and you still in wonder of how it was built, you ain't reading it. I'm sick of this shit. You ain't reading it. The hell you think you read? Oh, and Cham and Set and nigga, do you know how to build a pyramid? And no. Well, get your ass up out of here. Okay, because you ain't doing nothing for our people, but confusing them. Got them over there reading some shit that don't even mean nothing. Okay. So we see right here, it says the youngest son of Noah, born probably 96 years before the flood. Okay, now this is where the Hebrews use this dumb shit. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites. And so they assume because they say not the Negroes. You understand what I'm saying? And I didn't went in there and I can show you it's them Germans is the ones that, when they was, putting together Blumenbach and all of that, when they was putting a racial classification, you understand, that peoples is using today all over the world in universities, they were the one that put that in. That's a 16th century word. How the fuck is you gonna have Negro in goddamn 2500 BC when Negro is a Spanish and a Portuguese word? Okay, show me a fucking Negro 26,000 BC, 1000 BC. God damn it, even 100 AD. 500 AD. It's a 16th century AD word.